Jay Whitmire Stadium and Bob Waters Field here in beautiful Cullowhee, USA. A beautiful day for college football, and the two teams that wear the best colors in the Southern Conference are squaring off against each other.
They want all the smoking, we got it. Trust me, we got it. Physical, hit them in it. Make them quit. Make them quit.
Catamounts are going to be rushing four. A lot of secondary coverage back there, and the Catamouts get to him, and they sack the quarterback back at the 20-yard line for a 12-yard loss. Hidden looking, has plenty of time. There's going to be a fight down the field, and it's caught, and it's going to be a touchdown. Furman, I believe.
Interception, and Hassan Sykes will have the interception in the end zone.
Wow. Dickens throwing right side. Got his man, breaks a tackle, and down inside the Furman 44-yard line. Down the right side, got a man open, touchdown. Oh, he got knocked out of bounds before he scored.
No, they're going to give it to him.
Oh, they're going to give it to him. Holy cow.
MJ, touchdown number 1.
Wow.
What a throw by Dickens.
Listen, he's going to be caught from behind. Another big sack by the Catamount defensive team.
Justin Wallace.
Our 14th sack of the year. Kevin Hall around the right side.
Ball's
Kevin
loose.
Hall drops the football. The Catamounts, I think, have it. Try to bring it back the other way. And it is a Catamount turnover.
There's a fumble recovered by the defense. Western Carolina ball, first down.
The way Dickens throws. Timing pattern Perry over the top of the head. And that's his first Catamount touchdown. Heading back to throw. Pocket crumbling. Rolling right side. Fires intercepted. It's going to be picked off at the 40. Catamount's have it at the 45. Here we come around the other side of the field to the 45, 40, down to the 30, down to the 25-yard line. It's going to be a Catamount touchdown in the end zone.
Not only does he make great refrigerators, washing machines, and dishwashers, he also returns interceptions for touchdowns.
Kenmore. This time they fake to Boyd. Down the right side, up for grabs, wide open, Malik Knight. Touchdown, Catamounts. And he had a 3-yard gain on the secondary. In the gun, looking down the middle, now looks left. Got a man with a step. It's going to be up for grabs and intercepted in the end zone. The Catamounts have the football again. Our 4th turnover. Stepping up in a crowd, he dumps it off. It's going to be caught.
Nice move,
at the
Townsend.
25, at the 20, at the 15. Finally ridden out of bounds, but not before he got a first down, almost on a busted play. It's going to be Markell again running to the left side. Nice
Still running.
He's in the end zone. Are they going to touchdown? Catamounts, the whistle never blew, and the Catamounts now have a 37-7 lead. Left side wide open. There is Josiah Thomas. Big catch, big touchdown, and the Catamounts are rolling right now over Furman 44-7. Lee steps up. He's got a whole lot of room to run. He's still running.
Look at the speed. Look at the speed.
And he may. Oh, one guy has a shot to catch him.
House it.
He goes all the way. Is that a touchdown? Touchdown, Catamounts. Isaac Lee just goes about 65 yards. As the Catamounts are going to get an overwhelming 52-7 win over the Furman Paladins.
And welcome into Catamount Jaxe, live on location just across from the Western Carolina campus. Welcome you into Catamount Football Weekly with Western Carolina head coach Kerwin Bell. That's him. I'm Daniel Hooker from the Catamount Sports Network. So glad to have you tuned in as we celebrate a win over the Furman Paladins. Catamounts with their 4th win in a row. We'll take it on the road for 2 of our next 3 weeks. One of those will be a bye week in between, but big weekend coming up in the low country of South Carolina. Before the hour is through, we'll talk about that and much, much more. Again, you can drop us a note here on the Facebook page. We'd love to hear from you. Welcome those in watching on our YouTube channel as well. And, of course, live from Catamount Jaxe, again, axe throwing in the back, social house in the front. Special thanks to the Chili Chomper on location today. Between the Chili Chomper and Soli, we've got food trucks coming by, and you can come in here, have your food at the social house. Looking forward to that. Again, axes and alcohol, my favorite line. They go well together. I love that, put those combo together. And, of course, each and every show brought to you by our friends at Stanberry Insurance. 4 locations to serve you across Western North Carolina, serving the Southeast, backing the Catamounts for over 45 years. Silva, Waynesville, Highlands, and, of course, Clyde. Looking forward to that for Western Carolina and our proud sponsors of our Catamount Football Weekly. Daniel Hooker alongside Kerwin Bell. And, Coach, as we start things off, you got to see some of those highlights. A lot of those, at least, were most of them were probably second quarter on, as it was a stalemate through 15 minutes of play. Then you put up 52 points in 3 quarters of play. Things seem to be clicking. You got the running game that you've been talking about. You said we've been coming. There it was. You got to see it this past weekend. But overall, a very solid, probably the most complete team game that we've played all year.
Well, it's like I told our team, the beautiful part is this is all just off of their hard work the last few months, really, through camp. And then, then we seen where we had to make some drastic improvements after the first 2 or 3 games. And they're willing to listen to us, be coached hard, and they're willing to go out and try to get better in the areas we need to get better in. And that was sort of a culmination of being able to put it all together, each group complementing each other. Our special teams, I think Coach Webb said, got plus 60 in field position compared to Furman. And so that gave us that field position. We won 5-0 on the turnover ratio. So when you start doing that with a talented football team like we have now, and as we're starting to put this thing together, that's when you start beating people the way we did Saturday.
Well, you talk about 17 completions, 220 passing yards, 4 touchdown passes, and that's not even the highlight of the entire ball game for you. Again, offensively, 302 rushing yards, most rushing yards in a ball game for Western Carolina. I think since we had 384 against ETSU a couple of years ago here in Cullowhee, the most, since against Presbyterian, the most against a Southern Conference team since about 2018, 2019, something along those lines. So, again, something kind of historic, but you look at it on paper and you got to count down. Nobody had more than 78 yards rushing on the day, so a good balanced attack. Everybody you put back there was able to contribute.
Yeah, that's what's so special. We've been talking about this since camps this summer. Our strengths are in our numbers, and I felt like as we got into the season, that was really going to pay off for us as far as being able to use a lot of different players. Also, when you start getting injuries, you start to get in these situations middle of the year, I think that really starts to take over, and I think you're seeing that with our depth on the defensive line. A lot of guys only having to play 30, 40 snaps because we have so many guys that can play. So strength in numbers is something we got to continue to use as as a positive for us and a strength for us, and I believe that's making a big difference for us. That when you start about having really good players throughout the roster, now you got better special teams because of that are playing special teams, and guys like Armand Anderson, who's making these big hits now, is really creating a lot of energy for our football team. So it's just when you win a game like that, it takes total team effort, and that's what we got on Saturday.
Well, for sure. We talked about the offense. You mentioned special teams. Got to talk about that defense. We saw a couple of Kenmore interceptions there, one that he took to the house, and there were some key blocks on that play. It's so hard for defensive guys in that quick transition to get around on a guy and understand you don't want to have the blind side blocks. You don't want to have a block in the back or the hold because all of a sudden the guy you were guarding and now you're trying to block, but some key blocks to be able to contribute to that touchdown. So defensively, talk about that interception return for a touchdown. He got another one in the end zone. 3 of them on the day. We saw Hassan Sykes take one away, wrestled it away from his defender. But defensively, probably our best game all season.
Well, I told Jerry, man, wonderful job by him and our coaching staff on that side. We took away their run game. I've been talking on here that I feel like our fits on defense is as good as we've been in the last couple of years as far as the run game. I think it showed in that game. Our big thing is getting off the field on third down, being a little bit tighter in coverage, with that getting a little bit more pressure, and I think all those things came together with a big culmination of Ken having 2 interceptions, one back for a touchdown. Hassan also got an interception. So start playing the ball, start creating turnovers, start thinking about getting turnovers. That's great defense, and so. To me, it's all about confidence. As you do it more together, then you become the team that you want to be. And so I think we're heading in the right direction. Now it's a matter of putting it 1 week at a time, and that's what we're trying to do.
Yeah, of course, being able to take that. And coming off the performance you had at Wofford, and you knew it was a very close ball game, a tight ball game, the way they played defense, and then the way your guys got after things. After that first quarter, what was your thought process as the first quarter came to an end, zeros on the scoreboard? Neither team, I don't think we combined for 100 yards of offense between the two squads. Defenses really took control. What was your mindset after that first 15 minutes?
Well, the coach on the other side, Coach Hendricks, probably thinking the same way thing I was. It's your team. So I was thinking, man, we've missed so many opportunities, knowing that they didn't really stop us. I'm sure he's saying the same thing on his side. But I just felt like we were a better football team watching us play. I love the mindset, man. Just we're going to work, man. It was every play, wasn't high and low and all this. It wasn't cheap shots on the interception. We did what we had to do where you don't get penalties and get a touchdown. They were just so committed to each other, the way they put their head down and went and played one play at a time. I felt like because of that attitude, that's what got me. So I was so energized over there. I knew sooner or later when we opened the gates and we got some points, I knew from that point on, and you give Tiger time to warm up and get going, I knew we'd have a big day.
Well, after the 46 in a row to start the last game, I think he went out there and said, let me throw an incompletion on the first pass just to take that pressure off.
He had a touchdown on the first play, too.
Yeah.
Great call by Riley. A little out and up. Had the guy beat by 4 yards. Dominic, and he threw it out of bounds.
Yeah.
But that should have been a touchdown. He knows that. He didn't get quite going and we gave a couple little pressures early on, but our offensive line set in there, really got physical in the run game and the pass protection game. And then once you get Tiger a few completions here or there, he gets going and really, really takes off.
Let's talk about up front. You and I talked last week. We talked on our Catamount Sports Network pregame show on the radio that it was going to be about pressure. Who could handle the pressure? The pressure, A, of it being two unbeaten teams in Southern Conference play, trying to keep pace with Mercer, who's sitting there at 4-0. We're coming in. Furman's coming in both at 2-0. So the pressure of the situation, of the magnitude of that game. But then the pressure up front. Who could get pressure on a quarterback and who could handle the pressure as an offensive line, being able to accept that. So I really think on both sides of the ball, the pressure is what really set the tone.
Yeah, I think that was, the determining factor. And that when I seen early on that we could protect, other than a couple of things here or there, I felt really good about once we got going, I knew we'd score a lot of points. I just felt like we were a more talented football team on our side of the ball. And then defensively was playing so good, and their head was down, and their head was committed to each other and each play. I felt like we was going to have a good day there. So I felt really comfortable, even though it was 0-0 at the first quarter. Felt really good about where it was heading. And, that's a mark of our football team. Like I told them, this kind of game don't just happen. It happens because you continue to get better. You continue to listen to your coaching, and you continue to try to get better in the phases that we weren't good at. We weren't good at running the football. We weren't good at getting pressure. We've had a little problem with the new offensive line, but all that improved this week against a really good football team, and that's why we were able to put up the numbers we were able to put up. And, we did not want 95 to have a big day, and he got it 1 sack, I think. But other than that, I thought our offensive line did a really good job of controlling him.
Well, let's talk about you mentioned Curry Webb a moment ago and how we flipped the field and the positive nature of the special teams game. But also want to find a way to talk about Marcus Trout, the guy that you handed the ball to there to get us started. I mean, his field goal started things off. We'll see it in a moment when we look at the highlights, but I wanted to talk about that, to talk about special teams, 44-yard field goal. Kerwin Bell taking the offense off the field to put a kicker out there was kind of maybe first surprise of the day. But you had to feel good knowing that he's gaining that confidence each and every game.
Well, we went for it, I think, one time down there earlier and didn't get it, which is fine. I feel very comfortable with our offense going if it's good down and distance. But I just felt like we needed to break the ice, and he'd been kicking it really good in practice. I watch him all the time, and I just felt like he's got a lot of confidence right now. And so it was a makeable field goal. It was 4th and 6, so it's on that range there where I think we just got a procedure penalty too, which we got to get off of that, man. That's making me mad. I think we have 4 or 5 of those things.
I didn't even mention it this week.
I know it.
Yeah, okay.
Don't mention it anymore. It pisses me off right now. But we got to straighten that out. It's happened in 2 games. I think Campbell, we had a lot of procedures, so I don't know why it is. We got to figure it out. The guys individually got to make sure. Them are pre-snap penalties. We run for those things because, to me, that's mentally weakness.
Yeah. When
the ball hadn't even been snapped and you're going to create a penalty, now that's something wrong with that. And we got to make sure those kind of things don't come back and hurt us. Didn't in this game. But, again, Marcus Trout, our special teams, like I said, Armand and other guys out there are really busting their butt. They're creating big plays, which creates energy, which creates a lot of momentum for the offense and defense. So, really proud of all them guys. Coach Webb's a great special teams coordinator, and Marcus went out there, and like I said, once he opened the floodgates with that 3-pointer, then we really took off from there.
Yeah, we'll take a look at some of the highlights. We'll roll through. We can talk through anything we want because it was the first quarter. Nothing really to show in the first quarter. We got really good defense. Offense is stunning. But say hello to Constance Magruder, who dropped us a note here. Look on down through here. And, again, special teams to start off.
15-yard line, man. We covered that thing really well. Again, this is the run game. Just look how good we fit that. I love our 2 linebackers that are playing starting, man. You got Hayward And JT, man, Jordan Thompson, man, them are good football players, and they're starting to play at a really high level for us.
Well, you notice Head not getting comfortable. We got a little bit of pressure early on. He's a guy that if he gets some confidence, I think he's so much better than he was a year ago. Trey Hedden, they took their lumps with him last year. And then, of course, you get special teams here to give you positive field position. And, of course, I said on the radio, Kerwin Bell says, give me the ball on that side of the 50. We're going to score. And right here, we almost get it.
Great call right out the bat. First play, man. Great call by Ryland. Have an easy touchdown. We just miss it. Tiger is human. Thought he's a robot at one time. He's human. Missed that one, but, come back here. They hold us, so they have a penalty there on our guy. So we get a first down, man. I was disappointed because defense and our special teams gave us some really good field position here early, and we didn't take advantage of it. We come out a little sluggish on offense, just not focused. We missed on some things that we usually don't miss on, just simple things that we were not executing at a high level.
So, again, you're driving down here and you're trying to get the run game going, and I really thought the strength of their defense is their front. They're really their front four, 5, 6, adding in some of those linebackers, and I thought they did a great job of pursuit early on against our run game. But, again, here it is, 3rd and 11. Not a whole lot of plays in the playbook for that, but you get down here and you're almost there knocking on the door, and you're going to decide right here on 4th down to go for it.
Yeah, they twisted up front, and we just didn't get a hat on the hat a little bit, and I would like to see Pat just go in there real low instead of trying to jump. Once he jumped, then we wasn't going to get the first down.
So, again, now they've got the momentum, if you will, here in this this opening quarter. They've got the stop, and, again, in the red zone, coming up with a defensive stop. But then how about this pursuit by the defense? Building a wall down the line. We'll talk more about that as we go forward. We got a big task against the run game coming up this week, but a lot of the principles in this game will show through. But doing a nice job up front.
Well, our defense is built on speed, and we want to get guys running laterally. So when you see running backs having to run laterally, and that's what we're wanting them to do. And, again, we put our corners sometimes in man-to-man coverage, and we feel like we got some of the best in the conference. And, hey, Hassan Sykes is a really good football player, man. He's had a couple caught on him this year, but I knew he'd come back and be the kind of player, man. This is a great play. He stayed on it. It was a 50-50 ball, and he comes out there because he was so aggressive through the catch right here. He just stayed real aggressive through the catch and was able to get that interception. Big play by him.
It really kind of ripped it away from the receiver that time. Those things that 9 times out of 10, that goes to the offensive guy. And you as an offensive-minded guy like that, except when it's your defensive guy.
And
right?
I just love, I can talk about almost everybody here. We have been on him about being hard through the catch, right? Finish through the catch. If you remember earlier in the year, he had a couple of those caught on him.
Yep.
He was right there, just didn't finish and through the catch. And you know what? The kid, like I knew he would listen to what our coaches told him. He'd work on it and he'd get better. And that's what's happening with everybody on our football team, and that's good to see.
Well, Stephen Brantley had another great day kicking the football,
Stephen
both punting and on kickoffs, and really flipped the field there, backed them up inside the 20, and your defense gets to go back to work here. And you got to love different guys up front. I mean, this is probably your second string defensive line, with Adrian Stone in there making a play, and you're rotating guys through. And, again, you talk about keeping guys fresh, and I think you're able to do that while not losing anything with keeping this pressure up.
Yeah, strength in numbers, man. We got so many good football players. Adrian is only a redshirt freshman. Him and VJ are young guys, and they bring a lot of energy, and they're our third-team guys. And we put them in there, though, because they're ready to play. Well, you get here on 2nd and 10, and they're going to still try to run the football, trying to get something going, but you keep them, spreading them out sideline to sideline. Again, going with that speed defensive front, and how about a sack right here to get off the field on 3rd and 9? Yeah, this is a great job. Move Caleb inside. Caleb Fisher with a great move on a guard. Get him against the guard right there, and he beats the guard. KP, Kenyon, really brings pressure on the outside. Him and Justin Wallace, who got a sack here later on in the game. Well, those two, again, they really forced him inside the right two. Caleb Fisher in the open arms of Fish. And then, again, how about we talk about James Tyre. Doesn't have a huge game like he's had so far this year, but just enough to give you what you need. Well, if you notice, as we get through the game, I think we had a 4th down. He catches one as he's getting hit. Tiger's just got so much confidence in him. So he makes some important plays, man. He's had a great year for us so far. I like to call him A.J. Colombo Jr. is what we like to call him. Those two really working well together. And how about that out of the backfield, being able to make a play downfield? I mean, these refs see guys fall, but their DB pushed our receiver into their other DB. We trying to run a route, and they don't call it because they just see a guy fall down. And then here, Ja Boyd. Man, what a throw by Tiger. Dropped it in a bucket, and Jai, again, first game back. First game. He hadn't played all year. He had a hamstring, and Man, I'd like to see him finish that. He's going to be an extra weapon for us once he gets healthy.
For sure. And then, of course, he had to punt it away. But, again, Brantley did an outstanding job in the punt game. Didn't even have to use the old Brantley bounce.
Look at here. Nas, true freshman out of Charlotte, North Carolina, man. We played him this week, and he's going to be a really good football player. Went down and made a great play. There's Gino.
Yep.
A really good job on that. And Dabney's doing a great job of contesting throws. If you notice, we were a lot closer on the receivers this week. I think that with the pressure really created a lot for us.
Yep. And there's Jay Wall getting the sack you mentioned, and, of course, making a punt out of their own end zone. So, again, the stalemate through to the first 15 minutes of this one, and now you're going to get the ball in great field position again after a shanked punt, and you're going to try to move it down here at the end of this quarter. And taking the shots, but Tiger just being patient, looking downfield, and sometimes maybe just throw it away there, maybe take an opportunity. Don't take the extra hit.
Come on, he knows that's what we preach. That's his one thing. Just make sure you give up on it. But we'll come back here, man. Braden, man, what a great job of catching that and running with it. Great job.
Yeah, tight ends involved in this one as well. We'll see a touchdown later from a tight end. And then this is what he can do. This is that elusive nature. I did ask him after the ball game. We'll see Isaac Lee run one. We saw it in the opening highlights. Who would win in a foot race? And he looked at me easily and said, "Oh, no doubt, Isaac's going to win that one."
Yeah.
But don't sleep on Teron Dickens when it comes to running the football. So now we're into the second, and now we can open up the floodgates here. We're going to take a shot downfield, and I don't know how that's not a pass interference call there, right, when you get pushed out of bounds. But
they'll call it on us, and we're running with the receiver. But, yeah, they push us out of bounds. They don't call it.
So third down and long now. I'm going to try to get to here, and a rare drop for Dom.
We're just missing some things, like not executing, not catching the ball, not doing the things we're supposed to do. But, again, I felt like we had to get on the scoreboard here and open up floodgates, and that's what happened.
Yep. Career long really 44-yarder there for the freshman Marcus
Strout. Good job.
And so now back on defensive side, and just some good special teams play, really keeping them from getting something going positively in the return game.
Well, to win games, man, field position, turnovers, being physical, playing at home, great. Them are things, being great on special teams. We did all those things. That's why we're able to win the football game the way we were. Our special teams really set us up field position-wise on offense and defense all day.
And I really felt, like I said, you saw a good throw there by Hedden. He's got some stuff, but we're getting pressure in his face and not letting him get comfortable in the backfield. I think that was a key, making back foot throws instead. They gashed just a couple of times on some runs, but it was that next play mentality that was really impressive, I think, in this ball game.
Yeah, nobody's hot. Just go put your head down and know you do your 111th. We've had a couple of guys guess a little bit. I said, let's quit guessing. Let's just do our job. It's very simple. Do your job. You got a lot of great players around you. And if you're there to make the play, you make the play. But let's do our job. And our guys did that so well the other day from start to finish.
Yeah, we saw a good play by JPL coming around the edge, helping on a run support from a secondary position. And now you're going to get a look at Josh Perry. First time he's in the ball game. His first touch was a positive gain for, 7 yards?
Yep.
And then you're starting to click offensively and getting Furman back on their heels. And when the run game gets going, it just adds to what this offense is capable of.
Yeah, there's Josh, man. He's a 200-pound freshman, true freshman. Got really good feet in the hole. I love the way he's got feet in the hole as big as he is. And he's been practicing really well all week, the last 3 or 4 weeks. We thought he's ready. But with KP being down injured-wise, it really gave him a chance to go in and show what he could do. And I thought he did a good job.
So, again, here you are. Offensive line protecting. Tiger has all kinds of time, and when you give him time, he's able to do something like this. And how about MJ?
Another true freshman.
Michael Rosson.
Michael Rosson. MJ, we call him, man. He is smooth. He is a great football player. Physical. Look how big. He's a big kid for a true freshman. Great hands. Man, he's going to be a good football player around here.
That's such a good throw. You had single coverage on the outside. The safety over the top was late getting back. And, again, you just drop it in a bucket right out in front.
Great throw.
Allow him to run right through it and into the end zone. So he able to hit the pylon here and stay in bounds. And that's just a great throw, great catch. And now you're up 10-0 here after the PAT. Of course, talking about Marcus Strout is up with 10 points on the day. 10-0 your score with 10 minutes to go before the half. And, again, trying to keep them off any kind of positive momentum. They got some dynamic return men, but they're not getting anything right there.
Josh Collins, man. Josh Collins, all these guys are just going down making big plays for us in the special teams game.
That's a play.
Again, I love the way, too, like we told them, man, nowadays people don't complete balls, but just tackle them, get back up and play, because we're going to make some big plays on defense, some negative plays, and just keep playing. That's what we're doing, man. We're just fitting everything, be where you're supposed to be. Don't guess. Go do your job.
And there it is. Samari Dukes knocks the football loose. And how about Jay Wall? Said, look what I found. Got the pink gloves and everything here in October, and he comes away with the football. Nice play here.
Jay Wall's having a really good year for us, man. He plays hard. Great play by him. I'm proud of him. He's come a long ways. Gained a lot of weight this year and really has put in the time to have a good year.
And how about the speedster here? A little track and field action for you around the outside. A little 110-meter hurdle, trying to get him on the outside for Dom. Nice job there. And, again, setting things up and keeping him off balance. And then right back over the middle. How about Malik?
Yeah, Malik, Dominic. I mean, these receivers are all getting their chances, and they all are doing a really good job for us. Here's the orchestra guy, though, man. He makes the great decisions, and that's pretty good for a guy who runs and can extend plays. He still makes really smart decisions. And here's another great throw.
Just a perfect play out of the backfield. Don't pick up the running back. Little curl out. How about the first completion? His first catch is a touchdown.
Yep.
4 guys on your team now, Coach. 4 of them. You talk about Braden Blackman's, Khalid Cunningham, Trey Walker, and now Josh Perry, all with their first career reception being a first career touchdown. And he likes to dance a little bit with it. So now you're up 17-0. You're starting to feel good about things.
Yeah, we got on the board and we got going. And like I say, Tiger, you give him time and get him in a rhythm, you're going to be putting some points on the board. And our defense just kept their head down, man. I love this. They didn't let up. They didn't play any other way, but just play with their 1-11 and play hard. They were physical, I thought, the whole game.
Able to get a hand on there. Mike Nelson coming back. Good to have him back in the lineup. And, again, coming up here in a second, you're going to see another good defensive play downfield. And, again, the throw's just a little bit off. Not much, just a little bit, but enough to keep them from continuing drives.
Well, when you're putting pressure, listen, I played the position. It's easy when you're back there and you feel very comfortable and you're not getting hit. But when you're getting pressure around you, you tend to throw the ball a little bit different and not quite as accurate.
So trying to get the run game going. I like the run out in space. A lot of times we try to run between the tackles and really off guard, but I love when we get those guys out in space, make something happen, and then talking about a guy making the throw on the run.
What about this, man? Tiger, no, he's throwing that ball back inside, which you probably would say he shouldn't do. But he does it with a true freshman. That's how much confidence he has. That kid was going to go be aggressive toward the ball. And MJ just, just gave him the confidence to make that throw. I just couldn't believe it.
I think this is
took 10 minutes to decide it wasn't an incomplete pass. I mean, my God, you don't have to throw it over your shoulder to be counted as a pass.
Well,
you can shovel the ball out.
The question I had was if it's going to be intentional grounding, it had to be a pass, and then the same guy throws the beanbag for a fumble, so it was kind of confusing on the field. How about Parrish Metzger out there trying to get the explanation for you, trying to work on it. So, again, it ends up being grounding, which you'll take because it's not a turnover.
Yeah.
And you get keep the football. And how about Josh Perry? He's going to be special. Once he's able to run through some of those arms like that.
He's going to make people miss as he gets more and more confident. He's going to run through those tackles. He's like I say, he's a big kid.
And at the same time here, Coach, you're really doing a good job. You've done a really good job. And here's Stephen Brantley really flipping the field once again.
Yep.
But you've done a good job of really keeping their offense off the field with ball control. Not really, you look at the Wofford game, you had to do with ball control because of the way they play defense. But this game, able to maintain possession and continue drives and keeping the pressure on Furman now. They're not able to do what they want to do in their run game. And the quarterback's been harassed most of the day, so you're playing really well at this point.
Yeah, this is the perfect example of how far we've come. We had them backed up, 2 great plays, but this is a great throw, man. Great throw, great catch. Sometimes, listen, they're on scholarship too. But you know what? First game or 2, we probably might have gave up a touchdown after that play.
Yeah.
Been down, start guessing. But you know what? We put our head down, made a play there. Dabney comes right back, makes a defense play. Comes right back on 3rd down right here, I believe it is, and we get this interception for a touchdown.
But pressure.
That's how much farther along we are as a football team. Just play one play, trust each other, and if something bad happens, like that great catch they called on the sideline, we'll make a play, and that's exactly what happened.
How about a heady play there? I want to call out 10 in purple again on not getting called for a penalty.
Justin,
just running through that.
How is that? Watch, he gives up his body. Justin Wallace does right here. Most people would try to get a kill shot, and they would have got a penalty. Right there,
right here he comes running through.
But he just runs and puts his hands up. Just make sure the guy don't. But just a great disciplined football play.
In basketball, that's a moving screen.
Yeah.
In football, it's legal.
No, but most people want to try to get a kill shot and look pretty.
And that's
all Justin wanted to do was do enough to get his guy a touchdown.
Yeah, and like I mentioned, it was just
winning football.
The smart plays, the little things, especially when you're defense and you're not used to blocking.
Yeah.
You're used to going and hitting guys and making tackles, but a heads-up play to be able to make again, get that pick six to the house, and all of a sudden now things in cruise control, 24-0. Right before halftime, and understanding you get the ball to start the second half. And again, you're going to try to get the ball back here. You're going to get them stopped here 3rd and long. I know you take a timeout to kind of preserve some of the clock, and then they get a big play. They're able to get the first down here around the corner.
Well, I thought he was trying to get to the locker room, and we were trying to get it one more. You know, when you got a team, got momentum, you're trying to get that one more score before halftime. Like I told Jerry, I screwed him up. I should have told him make sure we played base defense there because I knew they was going to run it again. And we played, our Gator package, which is our rush package, and they got a first down, which kept them going here. And now they're sort of in control of the situation. We still are breaking on the ball. We make it hard here, but they do go down and get 6 points right here.
So they're starting to move the football, and you never want to give them any kind of confidence. But again, how about that play? If you run into 3 guys and still able to maintain, like you said, Furman is not a bad football team. They came in at 4-1. They're 2-0 in conference play for a reason as well, and they're going to make some plays on you.
Yeah, they don't make plays, just tackle and make sure you make it hard. Again, we had that 3rd down. I mean, really good. Our backer knows he's got him. It's just, get pressure. This is the one probably mistake we made all day right here. Hook is, and it's Ken. A guy had 2 interceptions. Ken knows. Ken has that guy coming back to the back of the end zone right there. We get great pressure. There's Ken right there behind him. Ken's supposed to be picking him up. He knows that. He's a great football player, man. That's why I can tell you. But he could have probably had a pick. See him right there coming from behind? He knew he missed it. That guy had to throw it because he was getting pressured. I could have been Ken's 3rd interception if he'd picked him up because he'd been right there on top of him.
That's now going to take it to the house, going to take it to the locker room 24-7. Catamounts will lead here at the break. And, again, just an outstanding first half. And, again, you walk in the locker room and you get the ball to start the second half. So what was your message when you walked in the locker room? We'll talk later about what you said to the guys when we took the field. But you had to feel pretty good about where you set. You got things rolling offensively. Your defense was playing well. What was your first thought in the locker room?
Well, great first half. Listen, played extremely well in all 3 phases. But we're the kind of football team now that we're killers, man. I got some trained killers. Listen, we're going to go back out there, and I have no doubt that you've come from that first week to now. We're a different football team. We're going to go take care of business. We're going to be physical. We're going to go add to this score, and that's going to be our mentality is go out there and take this thing and play all 60 minutes. That's what we signed up for. We've learned how to strain and get to that point. That's what we're going to do, and that's then I said play the music.
And music at halftime.
Play the music. I need a big speaker, though. I want it to be really loud.
Well, hey, that's a good
I'm gonna
opportunity.
Have to go buy one for the university.
Yeah, well, it's an opportunity there to get something going.
Well, listen, we can play that music, man. Them boys love. I told them my words ain't near as good as that music. They love the music, so we get them hyped up, get them back out on the field. And I thought we played a really good second half.
Well, we'll look at that second half coming up as we continue here live from Catamount Jaxe, Catamount Football Weekly, presented by Stanberry Insurance. Don't forget to drop us a note. We got a lot of folks that have dropped us lines here today. Appreciate all of those. We'll try to get to some of those as we go forward. We'll step aside when we get back. We'll look at the 3rd and 4th quarters and get you ready for Western Carolina in the Low Country. We head down, calling all Catamount fans that live down in the 843. Need you this weekend to come out to Johnson Haygood Stadium as we take on a very good Citadel Bulldog football team. We'll talk about that and much more as we continue back after this. You're watching Catamount Football Weekly.
So, you gonna play this week?
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 You gonna play this
You
week?
gonna play this week? You gonna play this week?
You gonna play this week?
You gonna play this week? This week?
And welcome to the Ingalls Game of the Week as the Warhorses square off against the rival.
He's going in.
He's going in. Go, baby!
Ingalls, we're with you every step of the way.
Welcome back into Catamount Football Weekly, live from Catamount Jaxe, just across from the Western Carolina campus. Make sure you stop by here to the Social House. Come see the folks here. Great staff, great supporter of Western Carolina athletics. Come throw some axes here in the back. You get to throw those things and get out there. I want to see Kerwin Bell throw axes. I can imagine the gunslinger Kerwin Bell back there throwing axes. Might throw it through the wall. I'm not sure. But, again, we appreciate all the stuff that the Catamount Jaxe does for us, having us here all season long with our coaches shows and, of course, Catamount Football Weekly. And all of it's made possible in part by Stanberry Insurance. 4 locations. I always say 3. We did that for so many years. But 4 locations, Silva, Waynesville, Highlands, and, of course, now Clyde, North Carolina. Visit them online at stanberry-ins.com. Proud sponsor of Catamount Athletics for over 45 years. Hope to see the Stanberries down in the Low Country this weekend as we take on the Citadel Bulldogs. We'll talk about that coming forward. But, again, Coach, a lot of people dropping us notes. Jim Bullens, Wes Greenwell. Wes Cognell from the Catamount Club says, hey, join the Catamount Club, and you can help make a contribution to the speaker fund. And I add that to the facility. We add it to our facility fund. How about that? Do want to say hello to Pistol Pete Balthrop, former Catamount defensive lineman. Says, Coach, you gave me some bragging rights. I've lived down in the upstate of South Carolina, surrounded by these Furman fans, and you gave me some bragging rights for a year as the Catamounts get the win. Wes Greenwell. How about the families here? Lisa Sanez, William Hamby, all tuned in. Don Moore, some of our players' parents, all tuning in. Joe Henry, Jerry Love, Gary Kivett, all these folks. How about Tobe Childers? Tobe the Bomb Childers. Talk about a guy that could throw the football back in the day when throwing the ball forward was not considered to be something that you did. And, of course, we do say hello to Onifer Wilmoth as well. We'll try to get to all those comments. If you have any questions, please drop us a note as we go forward. But, all right, Coach, so the playing music in the locker room, that's how you finished it up. I guess that's probably better than any halftime speech would be just play that music, and you did. And now you're coming out of the locker room or going into the third quarter. What did you say was going to be key? 24/7, you get the ball. Did you tell the guys, guess what, it's 0-0, let's go back out and go
Well,
from there?
I got to give, I probably got that from Dion. I got to give him a little credit, even though he's old Seminole. But I am 2-1 against Dion, so I feel good about that. But, he has that play my music. I don't know if you ever seen that on. I laugh at him. He's a cool dude. Dion's a little cooler than I am, so I can't say play my music because I really don't have no music. I just said play that music. Whatever they want to play, they play. It's not none of my stuff. So that's the difference.
I did hear you had some good stories about you and Dion back in the day, sharing a golf cart and this, that, and the other. We talked about that. We did that over here. There were trivia night.
Playboy All-Americans together.
That's it. So, so you're going out third quarter. Let's go ahead and roll the third quarter highlights. We can look at that because there's a lot of scoring to get to, a lot of great plays by our Catamounts, and, of course, getting the football back in the all-purple here at home on a beautiful, absolutely gorgeous day. If you weren't in the Cullowhee Valley last weekend, shame on you. It was absolutely picture perfect. And how about Pat Boyd? You talk about gashing some runs. Pat starts it off here really well in this drive.
Well, this kid runs extremely hard, man. He's just not a real big kid, but he's a very explosive kid, and he runs after contact, man. Runs through contact, and we just got to keep him healthy. And, again, he gives us a really good dynamics coming out of the backfield and really establish this running game right here. And then we just go play action. And, again, Tiger, I'm telling you, I've been around dang NFL guys. This guy can throw it deep as accurate as I've ever been around anybody. He can lay them right there. I mean, that almost happens every time he throws it. You can watch him in practice. Come watch 3 practices this week, and you'll see him hit every one of those throws. It's unbelievable.
So now you're up 31-7, but you're keeping the pedal down and you're getting the pressure. And, of course, we're going to make some plays here. It's a nice throw, nice catch against our secondary.
Yeah, we just undercut that a little bit and got out of position. But, again, we had our head down and just go play the next play. Trust each other. We're going to get out of this thing. They don't hit some few plays. Let's go play the next play. I thought we did a really good job of that all afternoon.
Of course, here you get the run fit. And, again, just the pursuit to the football, that purple pursuit to the football. Yeah, they were able to get a first down on that play, but we've seen games earlier this year that would have gone for 6.
Yep, that's right. Just make sure you play for the next play, right? I don't know about interference, but my goodness.
Didn't get his head around. That's all I said. So the only thing I could think of is he didn't look back for the football. But,
great job. There's my boy Kim Moore, man. He's a great football player.
Well,
he's talking about a great football player. Kim Moore is a special guy.
Yeah, he
That's a great play.
He definitely looked for the ball on that play, and it comes up, good coverage of the secondary and stops the drive. And that's their first drive of the second half. After we go down and score on the first, they're driving with a little bit of confidence because they scored right before halftime, and then you really put the kibosh on it there and do a nice job and good protection up front, different guys, and then Teron Dickens just doing something with his legs as well. And here I'd like to see just go ahead and go out of bounds instead of taking that hit, but That's just me.
Yeah, he's
a competitor.
He's a competitor, man. He's as good. I didn't realize how competitive he is, but just watching him day in and day out, he is so competitive. He wants to win. We do 2-minute offense during the week. He's going to try to win every time. He's just so competitive. But I love the way we really got a really balance here in the second half, right, with our run game and our pass game. I thought it was really good. If we can keep improving in this area as far as our balance, we're going to be a really dynamic offense as we go through the season.
Well, as I mentioned, you run for a season-high 302 yards, and you only throw it for 220. And you say only. I mean, some teams would love to throw it for 220, but that seemed very paltry numbers for some of the numbers that we've put up this year. But, again, over 500 yards of total offense. And fitting it into some windows, how about a 4th and 6? You mentioned it. There's James Tyre coming up with one of his big catches.
Yeah, I think we lead the nation again in passing offense, or we did up until this week.
Behind Monmouth, we're second.
Oh, we're second.
Yeah, right behind Monmouth.
350 or 340, something like that.
But I think that's all Monmouth's doing right now is throwing the football.
Yeah, but so we're going to shoot. We get to cut Tiger loose anytime we want to. He's that special. But
how about Townsend on this run?
He loves to get just this ground game. This will help him be just a much better quarterback also, to have the ground game to go. And that Markel Townsend, man, he is a ball of just muscle. Reminds me a lot of Dez a little bit, just a little power pack kid with a lot of muscle, and he's hard to bring down. Really good football player.
How about this hit here?
Oh,
brick wall. Introduce yourself, number 17. I think Armand got in there on that.
Anderson. Yeah, man. Just again bringing energy throughout the game. It was really good to see by our special teams. They're starting to really. Coach Webb's, man. Listen, if you don't have energy and you don't have physicalness and you don't want to play, he don't play you. You ain't going to play special teams for him, and I think that's starting to show. He's starting to get the right guys on the field.
Yeah, 3rd and 1, they're able to come up here and convert and try to keep the drive going. And, again, they're going to make plays, and they set down in the zone defense. And, again, you can't stop every single play. I mean, that's almost in a statistical.
Look at this, how we fit this. We spread it out, and we just fit it up just perfect. That's a great job running to the football.
And Hedden's going to stand back there and make plays. But
here's a line judge making a call 20 yards down the field. I just don't understand. I thought he was there to see if we held or something. I don't know.
Well, it's supposed to, his job is to mark the ball, right?
That's what I thought.
But either way, again, but I love the fact that we continue to play.
Perry, I need help, Perry.
I love the way we continue to play here, though, and not giving up anything. And here they are. They're driving. They're inside the 15-yard line, and we know we don't give up a touchdown. We don't give up any points.
Oh,
I don't know how that wasn't an offensive pass interference.
Yeah, guy grabbed our guy.
Well, and a two-hand shove in the back almost was an interception.
Anyway.
So now they've got it, 1st and goal here, and they're moving, trying to get into the end zone.
But we had this attitude the whole day, man. Just go play the next down. Don't go play the next down. This is a tremendous job. Playing the run, playing the play-action pass, doing your job. And just a great job by all these guys.
And how about right here from behind? Hassan had a big game. He had a big pick earlier, and he causes a fumble there.
Yeah, that was Kenyon Partridge with the recovery. Man, I thought he was going to pick it up, run it all the way back. But
I think he would have if one of his teammates had and knocked it out of his hand, I think, there. But you talk about, we mentioned Ken Moore, Defensive Player of the Week in the Southern Conference. Well, Hassan Syke was an honorable mention for National Defensive Player of the Week for the job that he was. So, gaining recognition on that defensive side for a couple of guys.
Look at that move by Tiger, my guy. Guy's free in his face, and he makes him miss and run for a 1st down. Pretty special kid.
It's now 38-7, and you're starting to move the football a little bit more. And again, how about this run?
Just great patience. That's one. This kid is so. He reminds me a little bit. I always said when I recruited him, Emmitt Smith, in that he knows how to set up blocks. He takes his time. He's very patient. He runs through tackles. When you have a 3-yard gain for him, he gets you 5. He's just that kind of kid, and he's really starting to play well for us.
But how about that offensive line as well, pushing things downfield and then setting up here for a pass block, and again a near miss there. Of course, they're going to get us for an offensive pass interference on a pick play there, but we don't run pick plays. I know that, right?
No.
I learned that last week. But how about, again, Teron just taking what's there and just going to move it down inside. And, again, I'd like to see him go feet first some of these, but, whatever works, competitive nature. And then how about this play? Just all
great
alone.
Design by Ryland and our offensive staff. Just really good on red zone offense right there.
And that was Josiah Thomas, again, another youngster.
Yeah, Josiah, another true freshman.
Yep.
How many true freshmen? About 4? Did all 4? Was it all 4 true freshmen?
Other than Malik.
Yeah, that's
Malik
true.
had the touchdown.
Right. So it was 3 of them. Yep. True freshmen, man. Everybody thinks we don't recruit well. My God, I don't know why y'all don't think that. We've had the number 1 class 4 years in a row in the SoCon. Top 10 nationally 4 years in a row.
Yep.
That's why we got some really good players out here.
And making plays.
Man, we got some young ones that's going to be really good out of this last class.
So 45-7, again, still in the 3rd quarter, and this is kind of just nearly an interception there. That would have been good. But just good, solid defense. And you know, did you learn something? Maybe did the guys look at the Wofford game and say, you know, see how they play defense and if they catch it, go make a tackle? That kind of mentality is still there.
Well, we've just been working so hard, our coaches have, of just keep preaching it. And our guys have accepted that we need to get better in these areas, and they have tremendously done that. You got to give them all the credit in the world, our players, just putting the work in.
Speaking of putting in work, how about this?
Doing.
Here he goes.
This guy is fast now. I don't care what you say. Like Tiger said, he can run straight line. He is, Isaac Lee, man, I think he's going to have a world. This kid's 6'3", 6'4", can run like that, and has a really good dynamic arm with great poise in the pocket. I mean, he's got what we need, and we're going to keep working with him. He's got a great person to look at, too. When you watch Tiger, I said, you take everything Tiger does and you watch it. And
well, except for the one thing he did on there where he ran to the end zone and celebrated.
Well, yeah, don't do that.
Don't do that. But
just to try to imitate what he does, how quick he gets it out, how he sees things so early. Jordan, I told our true freshman, man, that's what you got to do. You got to get to the point where you can get it out like Tiger and see things so quick and cancel things out, go through your progressions. That's what he's so good at. Because them two have both got a lot of physical ability. Now we just got to get them to that level, and we will. We'll keep coaching them up.
Well, I gave Tiger a hard time for being that celebration penalty coming down, the unsportsmanlike. But you got to love the fact that QB1 was the first guy there to meet QB2 after his first career touchdown.
Yeah, that was pretty special, man. Our whole team loves Isaac. So you get a personal foul, but my God, our team's so excited for him making that long run. You know, him, the backup quarterback, man, they all love him.
And, of course, now you're going to get some young guys in the game as well. How about Anthony Benjamin here?
Anthony Benjamin, man. I've coached two of his other brothers. He's the third one. One helped us win a national championship at Valdosta State, Kenny.
Yep,
and
came here
and played his last year with Rogan.
Yeah, and Furman doesn't want to see Benjamin on the last name because it was Kenny Benjamin that had the 80-yard reception.
Oh, that's right.
Last time we beat him here in Cullowhee back in 21, your first year, it was Kenny Benjamin with the big reception at the end of that game. But again, trying to run out the clock here. Obviously, the score is what it is, but you learn lessons from every single play. And you had that 4-minute offense where you're like, we got 4 minutes, let's go win a football game.
What a teaching point! What a teaching point. Well, not this one, but they break one somewhere right here at the end, don't they? I think it's they all right, we got all our backup young guys in there. They're getting some good reps. We got some
right here.
They break
one,
but they break one. Cam Smith right there, number 19. Really, has been a walk-on for us, but really turned into a really good player. He's backup corner for us. Like I told them, the lead we had, he could have just said, you know what, I ain't gonna go run after him, but he put all his effort in to go stopping the kid. We stop him, and then we don't give up a touchdown. We don't give up any points there at the end of the game. That is the kind of football we want to play here. And you start seeing our kids believing that that's the way to do it. And so great example there by Cam.
Of course, and again, you got to think the guys that are on the field. We mentioned Tiger running out there and celebrating with Isaac after his touchdown, but you got to think the guys in the secondary that are in those meetings and in those rooms and in those positions with them. They're looking at those third and fourth string guys saying, you know what, don't give up any points. We've held them to 7 up to this point. Don't let them score on your watch. And they did a great job of keeping it at 7 points. And that's a good football team that you're able to get a 4-1 football team. They've been knocking on the door of national rankings just like we have most of the season. But again, all in all, what was your first message? I know we know how you finished the conversation in the locker room. It was something about playing some music or something along those lines. But what was the message you had for the guys in the locker room?
Well, again, I go back to how are we here? You know, how are we here? And we're here because you decided that we weren't as good as we need to be. And we had a lot of work to work on, and I'm willing to listen to my coaches. Sometimes we're a little loud. Sometimes we're yelling a little bit too much.
Kerwin Bell yelled?
But they take that information, and they've taken it, and they've taken it to heart, and they've tried every day since the camp when we got in this thing in the first few games, saying, you know what, we got to continue to get better. There's a lot of things we got to work on. I'm going to come out here every day, every week, and get better at what the coaches are asking me to get better at. A lot of it was just, you know, guy, I'm telling you, look, you know, this will be like this probably most years is that you got so many new players with this portal. I think everybody. Then when you think about it, we had a lot of new players. I think 5 new players starting on defense. Then we had a whole new offensive line, 5 guys. Then we had 2 new quarterbacks that never played because Tiger went with us. And, man, it was a growing process. It was tough. Our guys were disappointed in them 3 games. but we stayed the course. We didn't say, oh, my. We said, oh, right? We never heard anybody say, oh, my, oh, no. We said, oh, my. And we went out and we worked on the things we had to work on to get better. And we didn't complain. We didn't make excuses. We just went out there and got better every week. When everybody around here was saying, oh, everything's coming to the end, we were in that room, out there on that field, in those offices, getting better. And I give that all the credit to our players because they said they wanted to get better, and they went out and did it.
And, of course, good home crowd here. Again, looking forward. Next time we're going to be at home. We'll be homecoming in a couple of weeks, 3 weeks actually, with 2 on the road, and then the bye week coming up. So we'll talk about the next game up. You mentioned it. You and I talked after the game. A different animal is what you called it when you talk about the Citadel Bulldogs. I know Coach Drayton is an outstanding coach who lives and breathes everything that is Citadel football. They've got one of our own down there working for him, and Gio Ricciardi's down there working for the Bulldogs, so maybe he's giving them some insight this week. But we'll talk about the Citadel Bulldogs task on hand as we head down to the Low Country to take on the Bulldogs. Site of the Catamount's first and only appearance in a national championship down at Johnson Haygood Stadium. We'll talk about the Bulldogs and the trip to Charleston on the other side of this timeout as we continue live from Catamount Jaxe here on Catamount Football Weekly, presented by Stanberry Insurance.
So, you gonna play this week?
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 You gonna play this
You
week?
gonna play this week? You gonna play this week?
You gonna play this
You
week?
gonna play this week?
And welcome to the Ingalls Game of the Week as the Warhorses square off against the rival.
He's going in.
He's going in. Go, baby!
Ingalls. We're with you every step of the way.
And welcome back into Catamount Jaxe, just across from the Western Carolina campus. Appreciate all that they do from hosting our shows, Catamount coaches shows, to our Catamount Football Weekly each and every Monday night right here. Join us on location. We love that you tuned in online. Would love to have you join us on location. We got the Chili Chomper here today. We got Soli here a couple of times. Food trucks. You get great food out there, great drinks in here, and great time. Coaches here. You get to talk with the coaching staff. Some of our players have stopped by that live over here at the Prospect. So just a great time, and we really appreciate all that they do to help with presenting our Catamount Football Weekly here live on location at Catamount Jaxe. Axe throwing in the back, social house in the front. Next time you come to Cullowhee, make sure you stop by. Tell the folks here thanks. When you come here, come and get a drink, come and talk to them, and just say thank you for what they do for Catamount Athletics as we, again, look forward to being back here each and every Monday night throughout the season. And, of course, it's all thanks in part to Stanberry Insurance. The fine folks at Stanberry Insurance, 4 locations across Western North Carolina. 45 years they've been backing the Catamounts. Visit them online at stanberry-ins.com. Of course, you can get auto, home, life, business, pet insurance. They've got anything you want covered. They can do it, so make sure you look at that. A great opportunity with Stanberry Insurance, proud sponsor of Catamount Athletics for over 45 years. Well, Coach, I had a lot of notes drawn up on this Citadel Bulldog squad. Talk about a team that is really coming into their own. They weren't scared to go out and play somebody. They brought North Dakota State down to the Low Country in the opener. They've played some tough people. They've gone on the road and beat Sanford. They've gone on the road and beaten Chattanooga. They started out with 2 wins in conference play, 2-1 with a loss to Mercer. We're seeing some of the highlights from the Mercer game. But talk about a team that likes to run the football. They're really doing that well. Last 2 games, they have run for over 300 yards. They've given up 500 yards of offense in 1 game this year. That was North Dakota State. They've only given up 550 yards their last 2 games. One of those was Valdosta State. But what have you seen out of this Bulldog squad? Coach Maurice Drayton, I said it when he got the job there. If anybody's going to get that thing turned around in Charleston, it's going to be Coach Mo.
Man, he's done a good job. Just in 2 short years, he's starting to play the kind of football that that you would expect from him being the head coach. It's real physical. They're going to play downhill. They're going to be aggressive at the point of attack. So this is a different animal for our guys. This will be probably the most physical game we'll play so far. For our FCS opponents that we've played, they have went and just flat out beat, Chattanooga at their place. And like you say, beat Sanford. So we've got to go and make sure first of all, we got to get away from these dang on penalties.
Some people were saying that in the comments, in case you were wondering. They're saying get rid of the penalties, and yeah.
Well, we're trying.
Yeah, exactly. You don't mind the hustle effort penalties. It's the mental mistakes that you have. I mean, all of them are bad.
There's a couple penalties. I'm like, man. But the procedures has got to stop. The ones that we make them run every Sunday for post or pre-snap penalties, because there's no call for that. You ain't even snap the ball and you make it a penalty. You create a penalty because you move or you snap the ball early or whatever. So we got to get away from that. That cannot happen anymore. We've had it happen in 2 big games. It didn't hurt on either one game. We won both of them. I think the other one's Campbell. But you have 4 penalties of procedures, that can't happen. So got to cut that down. I thought we're playing smart football, man. We had 2 pass interferences. It could have went either way.
Right.
I really believe that. But yeah, we got to do that, and then we got to make sure we start faster on offense. We've been a little sluggish last couple games. We're going to really preach that this week. We got to start fast on the road, and we got to go up there and help our defense out. Our defense has got to just continue to get better. Listen, I tell them all the time. I've told them before. There's paintings, you put them on the wall. That's basically what a victory is. It's a painting, and you can go all the way around that room. We got 7 paintings right now.
Yep.
3 of them are losses.
Yeah, ugly.
4 of them, they're ugly as heck.
But 4 of them are beautiful.
4 of them are beautiful. But by God, none of them matter what happens number 8.
Yep.
That's a painting within its own self. And them, as you look at all them, they tell you a story, but they have nothing to do with number 8. And we got to be 1-0 this week. We got to show that we can do it over and over and over and get better and better. We can't take the breath and relax and say we are where we are. I've seen good teams do that. They get to a point and say, oh, we're where we need to be. You cannot be satisfied in this game. If you want to win a championship, you got to peak at the right time, and that's late in the season. That's at the end of the season, and that's what we're worrying about. We're not worrying about who we playing, even though, again, it's a different animal, and they're going to be physical as heck. But our problem is we got to go to work, and we got to make sure that we look at this this is an opportunity for us to get better this week, be a better football team this next Saturday than we were last Saturday.
Well, it's Picasso, it's Van Gogh, it's Kerwin Bell.
There you go.
It's all the different things. You talk about the great artists that we have here. You look at their 2-quarterback system. They got 2 guys they've kind of rotated. Both have played in all their games so far this year. But running the football, they're their leaders running the football in terms of yardage, but they got the running backs that are finishing things off with strong runs, finding the end zone. 2 running backs that have combined for 7 of their rushing scores. Again, you fit the run nicely at times this year. What do they do differently? It's not really the same type of option that you've seen out of them. What type of offense are they trying to run now? But, again, a lot of it pertains to the ground.
Well, they've done a good job of mixing some of that, right? They still got the option game available, so you're going to have to work on that. We'll have to work on that all week. We're going to take that, make sure we're good in that area against the option. And then they have all their other quarterback runs, which is an animal within itself because now they got the extra blocker, right? Yep. The quarterback's running the football. So now the fits are going to be a little bit better, different, okay? And they're going to have that extra man. So we got to add the extra man to the box to make sure we make up for that. So it's a big day big week for us on defense to make sure we're, again, handle those different situations, understand them, and then offensively, I think the big key in this game, can we get early? Can we go generate some points early, get Tiger in a really good rhythm, and go score points and make them play a little catch-up, right? Because they want to grind it out. They want to be a physical football team. They want to have you hovering around and just, win late and be physical. That's who they are, and, man, they do a good job at it. So we got to go out and really get going offensively. And then a defense – I just love the mentality. I told them after the game, I just want to see that from now on, man. That's beautiful. See them put their head down after every play and just go play the next play. Play their 111th. Don't guess. We had nobody guess yesterday. And what happened was when that happens, you go play good, sound football, and you make it hard for the offense to score. And to me, it was a really good game by our defense. And if they just continue to grow, understanding that each week there'll be new challenges. Each week's got to get it. We got to get ready. And I think they'll do that. And it starts tomorrow for us. We got to really have a great week of practice.
Talk about their defense. What have you seen on film so far? What they're trying to do? Again, they got Giovanni Ricciardi, former linebacker here in Cullowhee. He's down helping out there in the Low Country, getting his coaching career off and running, and great to see that for him. It'll be good to see him after the game, maybe not before the game, but definitely not during. But we'll definitely talk to Gio after the game. But what have you seen out of their defense?
Well, they mix it up. They move a lot up front, try to cancel gaps out with their stunts and twists and things like that. So move their D linemen, which we go against that all the time with our defense. So we've seen it a lot since spring. But so I think that'll help our young linemen. But I love the way our young linemen, I think key for us is be able to handle their front four, be able to get movement. I think if we do that and give Tiger time, then we got a chance to score points.
Well, you talk about some injuries, Coach. I know that's one of the questions we normally get here, looking at guys we may or may not get back. I know we're going to be short. We're going to be missing Aaron Sanchez there on that offensive line again. But really the guys that have rotated around, Zach Watson moving into that center position. You talk about guys, Elijah Collins coming in this past week, getting a lot of playing time. You talk about Sucre Algies coming in and got some playing time. You rotated a lot of those linemen, and I think the way BK does it, the way Coach does it is good because you got guys that can fill in. Next man mentality up to a T.
Yeah, I've never been around a line coach that moves his guys around as much. And at first I'm like, you sure? Because usually most of the time the right tackle's the right tackle. Right guard, he can't go play left guard. We can't do that. But we've done it so much this spring now that these guys are starting to, man, they can just fit in and plug in. And whoever's playing the best, man, what it does, it creates all this competition, man, because you don't just have the right guard trying to replace the other right guard. You got 8 other guys trying to place that right guard.
And they all want to play.
Yeah, they all want to play. And so it goes to the best 5. And man, that's created a lot of competition. It's our guys are working hard, man. They have really shown a lot of improvements these first 6-7 games. So I'm excited. I think they take it as a challenge to really get Tiger comfortable and make sure people don't hit him. And they've really worked extremely hard. Offensive linemen, it's about a lot of times just straining a little bit, right? Strain with your block. Hold it just a second or two, a little bit longer. That's what they're starting to do in the pass game, but also in the run game. I think that's why you've seen us starting to gash. We're starting to get that backside. Guys straining to get to that backside, get that head across the right, get a head across, to the right side so we can bust those big runs. So you see it starting to come, and we just got to continue to work hard. We got a lot of work to do, like I say, to peak at the right time.
And you talk about injuries, of course, perhaps getting closer. Jalen Trezado, one of those wide receivers. I know he targeted the Citadel game at one point during the year. He's trying to come back. I know John Boyd made his return last week. Didn't see a whole lot of action last week as he's just getting back in.
He strained his other hamstring.
Well, it's just hard to get going in that wide receiver room with so much depth over there. Looking to get Trezado. Any other injuries? I know we talked about Branson Adams being a guy that's a couple weeks away from coming back, and we'll just add to what you've got in that running back room with guys making plays.
KP, Kamari hurt his ankle. He had been having some good games for us. He sprained his high ankle sprain, so he's in a boot right now. Branson is running on the sideline this past week. He looked really good. I told him, man, you look like you're ready to go. So it's either this week or next week, have that weekend before Chattanooga.
Yeah.
So we need him back, man. He's a good all-around player for us. And who else? Oh, Aaron Sanchez is he is probably maybe a couple weeks back.
Yeah, that's what I hear. Rehab
and that's going to be big for us to get him back. So we're starting to put Brett as another left tackle that can really help us, as far as our depth and giving us a really legitimate offensive lineman that's played some snaps. So I really like where we're at. We hadn't been beat up too much, but I think even this is our week, though. We got to go play our best game of the year, be 1-0 this week. And then we'll have that open week to get some guys back and make that run. We'll have a 4-game run after that, Hook. 4-game run, but that don't matter unless we go take 1-0 this week. So that's our whole focus is that 1-0 this week. Go play our best game of the year, and I know our guys will prepare. We want to be the most prepared football team in the country, Tuesday through Thursday. And I know we'll start that tomorrow, and we'll get there.
So we got a lot of folks that live down in the low country and in South Carolina. Here's your opportunity. It's going to be a beautiful day in Charleston. Come on out. It's a beautiful facility. Looking forward to that. Catamounts will make the trip down again 2 o'clock at Johnson Haygood Stadium. It's the Catamounts and the Bulldogs, the age-old rivalry, cat versus dog. Again, Coach Drayton's got his team playing at a high level. They're coming in, right there around the 500 mark and looking to stay above 500 in conference play at 2-1. So nothing can be a big feather in their cap to be able to knock off a team like Western Carolina that's one of the last unbeatens, us and Mercer, who is off this week. So we have a chance after this weekend, if you take care of business and go 1-0, you're going to be tied there with Mercer heading down the stretch in conference play. But third consecutive game, we've talked about a very physical team coming up with Wofford, Furman, and now the Citadel. So looking forward to that, Coach, and again, wish you the best of luck. And again, get these Catamount fans fired up, Coach. Get them out there. We got to have a good turnout. They're redoing the stadium there in Charleston, and they took down the big battleship that used to be on that side, and now they got a smaller stands. But if we could pack that stands and just overflow onto their side of the field, maybe get some seats over there, Catamount Club. They got a big tailgate going on. Reach out to the Catamount Club, find out about that. But again, looking forward to a good opportunity for Western Carolina on the road in the Low Country.
Well, man, y'all don't know. Y'all make a difference. Y'all really do. Our band was great. Man, I love and I've been at a lot of places. Old as I am, I've been at a lot of different places. But I think, and I don't call out our band. We didn't. I was disappointed a little bit in the crowd, but I understand we didn't have the students and stuff because of the break. But as long as I got my band there, man, that's my band. Play my band. That's what I'm going to start saying. That serenade, the way they do it at the end of the game, and that song, I can't even say it, but our kids love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I think it's one of the best. If they voted on around the country, FBS, a song out there that really gets guys going, our guys love that. And our band's a big part of that. That was a big part of them being so loud the other day and helping us win that game like we did against Furman. But this is on the road. It's a different animal, man. We got to approach it that way. We got to go down there with some serious attitude that we're going to play a physical game and we're going to start fast and finish 60 minutes of football. That's what it's going to take for us to come out there with a win.
Tough place to play. The pageantry, the Corps of Cadets, looking forward to being in Charleston. It all comes your way. 2 o'clock on Saturday, 1 o'clock airtime on the Catamount Sports Network if you can't make it down. Or better yet, you got a smartphone. You can pick it up online, catamountsports.com. Just make yourself in attendance. Bring your headphones and listen to us as you sit in the stadium. But looking forward to a great time. Make it a weekend down in the low country of South Carolina. Visit citadelsports.com to get your tickets. Make sure you're there, decked out in purple, ready to go. It's Western Carolina and the Citadel. Biggest game of the year because it's the next one on the schedule. For the coach and all of our staff here at Catamount Jaxe, Daniel Hooker saying we'll see you next week right here as we have Catamount Football Weekly presented by Stanberry Insurance. See you next time.